Cam, before we get into tonight's inter-squad game, just thoughts on what you saw in the preseason with the Jets this time around?
Yeah, we got a good group here. A lot of young prospects coming up. Think that's kind of how this system works. So it should be interesting. Hopefully some guys can step up and have some good years, and we can have a good overall year at the Moose.
You know, a lot of times people will say, well, Moose Camp started just a couple of days ago, so how are you doing after a couple of days? But you've been skating for quite a while now and at quite an intensity already. So is there a bit of an impatience to get into some real business?
Yeah, training camp's always long. I mean, you come in, we have this mini camp, and then we have main camp, and now we have, Moose Camp. Moose Camp's pretty short this year, though. We didn't have the exhibition games or anything. So, but yeah, I mean, at this point, you're kind of over practicing and want to start playing games because that's what you get paid to do. So.
What about the fact that you don't have exhibition games this time around? How do you approach that?
For me, it's probably not as big of an issue. I kind of know where my game needs to be on, the first night and stuff. It's probably a little bit harder for guys that are younger that haven't really played many years pro or something because, the game pace is definitely different than practicing or even preseason pace at that much. So it just kind of depends on the guy. For me, it's fine, though. I know where my game needs to be, come, October 5th now? So, yeah.
As a leader on this team and a guy who's been around pro hockey for a while now, do you jump right into that role in terms of wanting to guide some of these young players, or do you have to let the roster kind of sort itself out?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. Obviously you want to help as much as you can, get their career started and make sure they're, in the lineup every night. But like you said, you got to kind of see where they're going to put themselves and then kind of go from there and see what kind of game they're going to bring. Because everybody, your first year pro, you're going to have to adjust the style you play and find a niche that you can make it, you're not going to be able to play the same type you played in juniors or college. Some guys are, but some guys are going to have to adjust. So it's definitely a learning out process for the first couple months. But then usually by mid-season, you kind of know where you stand and what you're going to bring to the program.
With a lot of guys fighting for jobs, this inter-squad game tonight should have a pretty good intensity to it. What's your sense of what you're getting into?
Yeah, no, it should be good. Hopefully guys aren't running around too much. Hopefully they're still thinking the game because that's, the most of it and most important. But it will be good to see kind of guys fighting for spots and kind of showing what they got and kind of seeing where they're going to fit in the lineup.